The hit game franchise, Yakuza, obviously made by Sega and RGG, well not Sega, but RGG Studios, is a franchise I just got into. Fell in love with insanely quickly, something that you never imagined. Well, I guess I didn't until I played the game. Obviously, I started with the most optimal one, 7. I didn't know that there were other games, and I thought it was just one of the weird games that just, started out with their numbers at 7. I was sorely mistaken after I looked into it. It ended up being that, well, it wasn't. There was an entire order, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But the game was wonderful. I loved everything about it, the charm, the characters, and, well, the actual story. It was great. And I decided why not get into another one of the games. So, that's what I did. I started my journey onto Yakuza 0. When I first began getting the game, it definitely confused me, because I've heard of Kiryu and I've heard of Majima, both of them being characters, well, very distinct characters from their original Zero. Not very, because Kiryu is, well, sort of the same, but Majima, it was a weird one. Majima confused me, because I've seen this guy that was wearing a full yellow, looking, well, insane, to a sophisticated, still one-eyed guy, and definitely had me hooked. Why is he like this? Well, let me actually tell you why I love this game. The first part of the Yakuza 0 story was very simple. Yet with Kiryu's side, you had a son getting into the Yakuza, or getting charged for a crime that he definitely didn't do after you figure out that he was shot by a gun. And from Majima's side, which definitely was more interesting than it was Majima trying to get back into Yakuza, and ended up being has to kill someone, which I definitely thought that this wouldn't be a hard game for him, being a Yakuza member, but clearly it was, which progressed his whole story. I definitely was, as I said, hooked on Majima's because, well, let's be honest here, a blind girl being the tag of a murderer was definitely, or not tag of a murderer, but a victim, was 100% something I was not expecting. But the one part that I didn't like about mine, well, not like, but one part that was completely destroyed on this side was the side characters. I was not a fan of most of them, at least at this point. Now on the other hand, Kiryu had some wonderful side characters in my opinion, with my favorite characters from that just being Tachibana, as you know, the one person that helped Kiryu at the very beginning, and Nishikiyama, which is his blood brother. Next, this is where I got a huge change in opinion. Around chapter 6, we'll say. A bit spoilers if you actually haven't played the Yakuza 0 game. This is when, let's say for example, like Majima's, it was like chapter 5, I believe. Chapter 4, I believe. The end of chapter 4. Chapter 3 or chapter 4. I'm getting confused. Besides the point, I believe that when, at the very end of that, you saw Majima pulling a blade to Makoto. Made you thinking, really kill her really well? I definitely thought she would, but then we move on over to Kiryu's side, which I wasn't interested in until the very end of chapter 6, where Nishikiyama saved Kiryu from a boss fight. Not to say that he finished the boss fight and then go on to Kiryu. Not because this is a story explanation, but just more me telling you why I actually like this game. He saved him and brought him out to a wooded area, and from what I heard, he's found what it was and I love him. So I was very confused, and then he pulled out a gun, showing that I thought it was over. I thought it was anywhere, and it was a Majima story. But knowing that he came in at 7, I realized, wait, he didn't. And the whole build to him shooting and ending up not being able to was it just made me feel good. I love the new balance, the changing. Well, in general, just being able to do that, or, well, not being able to, clearly. And, yeah, it stopped there and it had me hooked. So I was excited to get in the next chapter and then it switched to Majima's. And I was a bit sad until the very end of Majima's, where, if you didn't know, as I said spoilers, Lee, which was the sort of helper with Majima to help Makoto, exploded in a truck, which I was not expecting at all. And just in raising stakes constantly, it felt great to be able to be really this invested into a story. So then, obviously I wanted to go back to Majima's, Kiryu, and it kept going up and more and more. Now, I may skip along to the middle part of the story. I did say some of it, but there was more, obviously. But at the very end, I gotta say this game had some of my favorite boss fights in anything that I played. Now, I'm not gonna call myself an insanely amazing gamer that I played every single game when I don't play a lot of story games, which none just pique my interest. Majima's final boss fight being Awano and Raju were some of my favorite. Awano being more because, well, the music was more iconic, and then, well, Raju was half and half. But the whole Awano fight gave me a true Yakuza vibe, and at the very end, when Awano ended up dying because he saved Majima from getting killed by Wild Yu, I am sorry if I'm saying that name wrong, was weird to me because I didn't think that someone would really have that much pride and respect for someone after just meeting them, but it showed me sort of what the Yakuza game's about, which is men fighting men, which is kind of a dumb way to say it, but it's still there. And I may just be talking about singing the praises of Majima's, but Kiryu's was, I'd like to do more. Shibusawa, being the final boss of the game, definitely threw me off. The first ever Dragon v Dragon experience that I've gotten. Me personally, I've now worked up my way to level 3, and I'm halfway through that. But this one being my first was amazing. The music choice in the game was wonderful, and the final boss had the stakes with Makoto sitting there. You don't know what's going to happen if you lose, and being on a yacht? Yeah, let's be honest here, that's one of the craziest finishes you've seen for just a normal human, a normal human. Which, in the very end, it made me feel happy, being able to finish it off on a lot of our places. Whew. I still remember the music bumping in my ears. It was great. I loved it all. Now, this may have gone on for long enough, but this was some place that I could just express my love for this game, because I don't really have too many friends that enjoy the Yakuza game franchise. But Yakuza 0 is definitely one of my favorite games of all time, and I hope that one of the other games definitely show it up. It's a wonderful game, something that I don't believe I'll ever forget in the near future. And I definitely believe you should try it too.